Good morning. We're going to do a quick walkthrough of the Adopt a Friend credit card integration. We're assuming that you already know your way around the software, so we're going to jump right in. The first step is to go into financial management under your financial supporting tables and under your payment types. You will see basically just to start the credit card process, just letting the system know that this payment type is a credit card. Okay, whatever credit cards you support will be in here. They're actually probably already in your software. You just go ahead and click credit card. The designator is a code specific to that credit card type, which we will give you as we set it up. And then here's where you define the type of credit card it is. So that's step one. Pretty straightforward. Okay, next over in system administration, we go into set up credit card processing. This is basically where we turn it on. You can see I'm going to go in and edit my settings. Here's basically just click this up here. We choose the X charge. And now this machine is in the process of being connected to X charge. This is the first time we see the X charge software. You can see where the integration is. It pops up right here in the middle. And we're going to go log on here. A word about the passwords. You probably only need two X charge passwords. One of them for the administrator, the other is for all of the users, and I'll show you where that gets set. But basically, this is the first time we're going to see the Xcharge software coming up. There's a whole bunch of settings in here, whether you want a separate receipt. You can have Adopt a Friend print out an extra receipt, or you can have the credit card receipt. There's a whole bunch of options here. The way it prints out. So this is basically that screen. If we did have the devices, this is where we would set up our different pin pads or whichever the terminals are that you've chosen. I do not have one plugged in, so we're going to see how it works manually. It's the identical procedure, except the operator doesn't have to do anything and the customer is interacting with the terminal. But that's basically where that gets set up. And I'm going to jump into system administration, into security, and into users. And if you notice, as you go through your different users, this is where the Xcharge password goes. So it's transparent. Somebody logs in with their username, they are allowed to use the credit card processing. It'll happen automatically. So that's pretty much all the setup that you need. And the next step is to go over into the point of sale and actually start taking some payments. And we're going to do a transaction. Grab somebody off our list. We're going to go ahead and sell them something simple. Okay, so down here, you'll now recognize some of those new payment types that we took. So I'm going to take a master charges note here, by the way. If you choose the wrong credit card type here, it doesn't really matter. When they pull a card through the terminal, it'll actually straighten it out for them. I don't have a terminal plugged in at the moment, so you're going to actually see some screens, and I'll point out where it would be a little different if you had the terminal plugged in. But I'm going to go ahead and choose the MasterCard here, and the system's going to go ahead and kick in. Now, again, if I had a terminal plugged in right now, what would happen is the client is going to be interacting with the terminal just like you've done 1,000 times yourself in a shop. But I've chosen to just key in the card, so I'm seeing this screen. Normally, the user would only have a screen came up that says processing occurring. And as I said, the client is interacting with the credit card terminal. So I'm going to go ahead. I have a test account here. I'm going to key this in. Again, I'll probably make a mistake, which is the argument for actually using a keypad. Here's our expiration and our credit card. Once again, the operator wouldn't be saying this. We would have probably been done already because they would have pulled their card through, put their PIN in if required. But we're going to go ahead and do this manually. Okay, this is just a little check. The Xcharge is telling us, hey, you know what? You just ran this credit card through, which I did because I was testing this before. So it's just reminding us, are you sure you want to do this? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Again, we wouldn't see the screen. This would be on the terminal itself. We would just be getting a message that the terminal was in use. You can see here's the transaction. It went through. It was approved. It also told us that we correctly did the zip code and the address, which gets you like a half a cent in your favor on the transaction. However, it is telling us that this was not certified because I typed it in manually, so you wouldn't get that message. But basically, that processed it for us, and you could see everything's done. It actually changed it. It showed us I actually did pull a MasterCard with a debit through, so it and a PIN, so it did do that for us. So now the transaction gets closed just like any other transaction, and that's it. At the end of the day, you have the reports that you can match up. A word about doing a credit or a return. We're going to go ahead and do one here. Let's say they just brought their t-shirt back. Oops. And we want to give them a credit for it. Okay, we're going to use the same credit card stuff. And the way this works in the credit card world, if it's the same day, you can say it's a void. You don't pay for the transaction. If it's a void, you don't pay for the first transaction or the void itself. And you can do that if it's the same day. Otherwise, if they bring it back after 24 hours, it's considered a credit. And it's just another transaction that goes through. So you would make this choice at this point. And then what happens is there should be a screen that pops up that lets us search through all of the transactions and decide which one we're actually doing a credit or a void for. And that processes that. And then that takes care of all of the accounting for you. And that's basically how a credit works.